Now come on up in here. I'm making me some Krabby Patties. I'm making some Krabby Patties. And some more grits. You put my grits on. Put on my grits. That's what I want. Oh yeah. Hey. I'm making me some Krabby Patties. And the Krabby Patties, they just about ready. I had to go ahead and start it. Yeah. Hey, you watching? Hey, George. Hey, Teresa. Hello, Betty. Hello, Stephanie. Mary. Elizabeth. Oh, no, you're not. Who's before Elizabeth? Okay, I'm going to turn this off. Because I'm about to make my... Ooh, I hate when I do that. I ain't always got to do that. Make a mess. Them grits. Oh, yeah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. To me, the worst burn, or almost the worst burn, is a grit burn. When that grits pop on you, boy, it pops. It pops. Hey, I gotta try to clean my stove. When it pops, it pops. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Get these on up out of here. I made them a little small because I didn't want no big ones. I want them like breakfast size. Oh, yeah, that's it. Ooh. Let me get my butter. I gotta go take me a little small road trip today. I'm excited about going to see my granddaughter. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. And I'm gonna make me some cheesy grits because I know I like it. I'm gonna add me some buttery chicken. Whoa. I'm gonna add me some cheese. Hey, Richard. Hey, Paula. Hello, Pat. Hello, Brenda, Emma, Teresa, Darlene, Gloria Henderson. What are you doing, girl? I was just thinking about you the other day. I said, I haven't seen Gloria. Where is she? And there you go. I almost missed your name. Crystal. Baby, I got my Texans on today. I think they play Monday. So, as you can tell, I'm a Texan. Not born in Texas, but I'm a Texans fan. Not born in Texas. I'm just a Texan fan. Ooh, them grits look good. Let's smother them up a little bit. While they smothering up, I'm ready to make my egg. I'm gonna make my egg. Because after a while, I gotta get on this road. I'm so excited about going to see my granddaughter, Brittany. And it's a contact visit. We'll be able to hug each other. We will be able to hug each other. The Steelers, I don't ever worry about the Steelers. I just pray that the Texans make it to the Super Bowl. And if they don't, they did an awesome job this season. They did an awesome job because it's been a long time for the Texans to do what they're doing. I think they are 12-5, I think. I think they're 12-5. Oh, here's my egg. And I put me some green onions in here this time. Chicago Bears, who's you all's favorite team? Let's turn this off. Let's turn the grits off. Oh. Can y'all see me? Let's see, what I used yesterday. Oh. I'm gonna use this to put my grits in. They look so good. I had a couple of things I had to do this morning. I had to find me. I got to see what kind of clothes I could wear over there to that place. I tried to make a small little pot. Hey. Hey, Cindy. Eagles. The Eagles. I'm going to put me 2 of these on here. And that's just something for me to eat. I just got me a little something to eat. Just a little something. Come over here. Today's really not a good day. Just, uh-oh. I don't know how y'all keep getting on mute. You all should be okay now. This phone is so sensitive. These are my, yes they are, salmon, but I call them Krabby Patties. I call them Krabby Patties. And they crabby, and they my patties. Okay, you all should, I think you all are in a delay. You all are in a delay, so I know that you all can hear me now. I accidentally put it on mute. So, I know you all can hear me now. I know you all can hear me now. I know you can. And the delay is over with, so I know you can hear me now. The grits look good, thank you. Strawberry preserve. Happy Friday. Your husband team is the Cowboys. Look here. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. So I guess y'all gonna keep on typing. I can't hear you. And hallelujah. That's the bomb. I took my other lash off again last night. Oh, I took my glue out so I can put it on. But I ain't put it on. I don't care. I'll put it on right before I get ready to, when I finish eating. You're retiring next month? My sister, I think after 40 years, today is her last day. She's retiring. She is retiring. She told me yesterday. Today is her last day. Hey, Stephanie. I gotta let the grits cool off. The grits are still hot. I'm not trying to burn my tongue. I like that on my Krabby Patties. Yeah, it's a delay. I said that. It's a delay. But by the time, it's always been a delay. But the thing of it is that by the time these grits taste so good, these eggs. I get my grits from H-E-B, from a store called H-E-B. They're 3-minute grits. Happy Fabulous Friday. Yes, congratulations to my sister. Yeah, Gloria. Yeah, she told me yesterday. I asked her was they giving her a party. She told them she didn't want one. Gloria will be back in Maryland in August. You like my bracelets? They the Texans. It's the Texans. Bam. I was looking for my Texans earrings and I couldn't find them. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Margot Jones. Congrats to your sister. Thank you. I want to say she's been there. I want to say she's been there, I know, 40 years. There's 8 girls and we had 1 brother. One of our sisters passed away when she was a baby. Her name was Helen. I really want the Texans to win the Super Bowl. I want them to win. Let me try my Krabby Patty. My granddaughter asked me to bring her some. Well, I don't want to put that big old piece in my mouth. Yeah, Lamont, you can have one. No. Hey, Candy Apple. How you miss my call? How did me and my family wind up in Texas? Because my family is originally from Texas. My grandfather's father, we are originally from Texas in California. So when my mom moved back to Texas, after I got out of high school, or it might have been, yeah, after I got out of high school, my mom moved back from Texas. My stepfather was in the military, so we did a lot of traveling. And then we were last stationed at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland. And so we lived in Utah. So so when my mom moved from Maryland, she came back home to Texas. And when she came back home, I graduated in 1981, and I moved here in 82, and been here ever since. So our majority of our relatives are here in Texas. They started off in Palestine, Texas. In Palestine, Texas, from way back in the day, slavery days and all that. So they had, my family came from a line of entrepreneurs. And it was one of our family members invented something. I forgot what it was. And they used to own the bank out there in Palestine. It was their own bank. And there was so much that they had going for themselves. And you know, some things, a lot of things was taken away from them back in the day. So I truly believe it embeds in our family. Everything that we do, it comes from your family and through the grace of God. So that's how we end up back here. My mom decided to come back. I had never been to Texas. I might have been to Texas at one time when I was a baby and didn't know it. But I don't think so. Because I was actually born in California. And we did a lot of traveling. Lots of traveling. I remember one time we traveled from California to Utah. We were going from California to Utah. And my mom had all of us in the car. And carbon dioxide ended up getting in there. And my sister, Eva, was asleep. And so it got into the vehicle, and it got to her the most because she was asleep. So my mom immediately had to go to find a hospital. So they were able to save my sister, Eva, from that carbon. Because it will kill you. It'll kill you. So her life was spared all those years. So we end up in Utah, end up back in Utah. I think by that time, no, yeah, we ended up back in Utah. But at that time, we wasn't going to the military then. It came after Utah. I remember when we lived on Andrews Air Force Base. My mom was very strict, and she was very, very, very clean. She did her own thing. And she knew how to sew. Very nice. Very well. So that's how we end up here back in Texas after Utah. And that's how we met Lisa, the one that lives in Dallas, and her family. Because I was in the 3rd grade, she was in the 5th grade, and then so on and so on. So there's a lot of memories when it comes to that right there. And so this is the one of the biggest stories that I have, you know, as being a kid, and not knowing what a friend is like. So I never had the opportunity to learn and call a person my friend, because we were always moving. We were always going to another state, you know. And so I never had the opportunity to sit back and call anyone my friend. That's why I the ones that I know, which is my homegirl Bree and her family, and then Lisa and her family, I can call them my friends. Other than that, Lisa, I met Bree when I moved to Texas. When I moved to Texas, I met Bree. But finding out I'm moving from state to state and me never having the opportunity. You know how some people grow up in a neighborhood and been there all their lives, and they know all the other kids in the neighborhood, and they having fun and just doing all kind of things in the neighborhood. We never had that opportunity to learn and know someone, because by the time you get acquainted with someone, then it's time for us to go to another state. And so, but when I started having my daughters, and they was coming home from school, I remember Cherie, you know, she is the oldest, and then we have Carolyn, and then we have Christy, and then Candace. Candace, I don't think, was born at the time, but they would come home and say, my friend, my friend, my friend. And I got tired of hearing them call those people their friends. And so one day when they came home, I told them, I said, don't come back here and calling anybody your friend, because you don't know how long you're going to know that person. You don't know. You don't know if you're going to be around that person. Don't come back here calling them your friend. Call them your associates or something. But do not call them your friends. And I meant that. I meant it all the way from the bottom of my heart. So this is something that has always been embedded in me, okay? And then it gives you, gave me the opportunity to try and know someone even after all of that. But still and yet you still really won't know. You're not going to know anyone, because sometimes people hide their bad hands. Their hands, they can pretend they like you, but they really don't like you. They really don't. So I try my best to, I've always been a loner, to really stick to myself, okay? And being on social media is probably the most I've ever been around a lot of people, okay? Hey, Christopher. Being on social media is the first time I've ever really been around a lot of people. And still and yet, and trying to get to know someone, you know. There's some people, there's a lot of people in this world, they have hidden agendas, you know, the jealousy, you know, and there's no reason for anyone to be jealous. I wasn't raised to be jealous of anyone. Thank you, Julia. What you say, Chris? You see what Chris just said? Chris just said Nana's favorite line is you don't have no friends. You have associates. And not only did I tell that, and that's coming from Chris. Excuse me, that's coming from Chris, my grandson. Not only did I tell my daughters, I told it to my grandkids. Don't come here talking about no friends. You don't have no friends. You have associates. I didn't want them. Don't be coming here talking about they have friends. They could still say it today, and I'm still gonna say it. I'm still gonna tell them. Yeah, that's some people that fake very well. Yes. And a friend will turn on you. You got to watch that. You got to watch it. I always tell them, don't come here talking about no friends. You don't know how long you're going to have, how long that person's going to be your friend. And a friend will turn on you. A friend will turn on you. They'll go and talk about you behind your back. I remember when we was in the military. When we was in the military. There's two females that I met when we was at Andrews Air Force Base, and I didn't know, the thing about moving and moving and continuing to move and move and move. I didn't know we were going to uproot and go again. But this particular time, we didn't leave that time. We didn't leave. By that time, my mom's husband, which is my baby sister's dad, they broke up, and we end up staying in Maryland. That's how we end up staying in Maryland. I end up graduating high school in Maryland. But the two females that I met, they left before we did. So, and we used to have fun and everything. And I think back then I tried to say she's my friend, but then when I said that, then she's in the military, she's a military person, we're military people, and so then they end up leaving. And so now I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone again. Now I don't have anyone again. So that's I never had that true opportunity as a kid to learn and see what most people saw in life, and to know, to be around. Like, a lot of you grew up with your grandmother. You grew up with knowing your grandmother. I knew my grandfather. My grandmother passed away the year I was born. So I don't know what it's like to have a grandmother. I don't know what it's like to be around a grandmother. But what I can tell you, I always told myself when I was a kid, if I ever have any kids, they're going to know what it's like to have a grandmother. They're going to know who their grandmother is. And I am my grandkids' grandmother, because I didn't have that opportunity. And this is why I'm so head and overly drawn when it comes to them, and loving and then loving on them. Yeah, it's very few people you can trust, Deborah. And then sometimes, I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty good person when it comes to seeing the truth in someone. Your grandmother left, Redrick. Oh, your grandmother left before you were born, so you don't know what it's like to have a Well, I didn't have a grandmother on my mom's side, nor my dad's side. I didn't know my grandmother on neither side. So it's like, it's me. But that's what made me want to love on my grandkids even more, because I couldn't find that love. I didn't know that love. I didn't have the opportunity to say, okay, I want to go, can I go to grandma's house? I didn't have that opportunity. So now I feel good when my grandkids are around. It's just like, I want to see them. I tried to be the grandmother. I never had. Oh, Valerie Johns, you didn't know your grandmother? Yeah, so that's Darnell. Hold on, I'm missing something. But what I did in life, I learned. And then it's not like we didn't go to church when we were growing up, because we went to church. But you know, when you go into church and you a kid, you really not paying attention. And the amount of time that we spent in church, I still didn't have an understanding, okay? It was a lot that I had to sit back and understand and see, be able to see things for myself. And not so much as to let someone come and tell you. Some things that you see in life, you got to see it for yourself. Hey, David Clayton. My grandmother raised me and she passed away 3 years. Oh, your grandmother raised you? I know you was hurt. I didn't know about a grandmother, but at all. And I'm so serious. I wish I did. I saw a picture of my grandmother. She's a very beautiful woman. Very beautiful. That was my mom's mom. Her name was Eva. And I have a sister named Eva. Well, I had a sister named Eva until she passed away. So, but I still never had the opportunity to meet. And I was saying about what I was getting ready to say about church is there's so much that I didn't know. And I've talked about this story before. There's so much that I didn't know. I didn't know about, signs and how God give you signs. And because I used to hear people say all the time, God talk to you, God give you signs. And so in the back of my mind, me being younger way back then and growing up and getting older, I went to church, even after being a little kid. Me and my daughters would go to church, but I guess I wasn't really paying attention. That's the only thing that I can come up with. Okay, so, but I would hear people say, "God give you signs, God talk to you," and I used to always say to myself, how God give you signs? How can God talk to you? So I didn't know that. I didn't know and understand how God give you signs and how he talk to you. There can be something that can happen, or you think that's getting ready to happen, or something like that, or you thinking about something. And now today I know that's a sign, because he's letting you know ahead of time. So one day I was sitting in and I'm sitting there and I used to, when I was working for HISD, I used to go to this park to drop the kids off. They were going to the zoo. And I would always go to this hospital, Park Plaza Hospital, and I will never forget this. I will always talk about this because I wish I could find that lady here today. I wish she was still here. I knew her. And I went in there, and normally I would go in there, I'll go to the cafeteria at the hospital and get me something to eat. And it was every time I went to that cafeteria, you can always find a seat to sit down, okay? This particular day, I went over there and went to that cafeteria, and there was so many people in that cafeteria. People were standing up against the wall. I remember seeing, because the window was over there, and they had the wall here, and there was a wall right there back behind me. And I will always remember seeing those people standing up against the wall. So when I'm walking and I'm looking at everyone and I'm saying, dang, I'm not going to find a table today. And then all of a sudden, I see a table right there, and no one was sitting there. But no one, all these people that stand up against that wall, they didn't go to that table. That was a sign right there. That was a sign. I know about these signs now, okay? And no one sat at the table. So I looked around and I sat down. Probably 2 minutes later, this lady came to the same table where I was sitting. And she asked me, was anyone sitting there with me? And I told her no. She said, well, can I sit here? I said, sure. So we was talking, having conversation. We was having a conversation. And then now you mind me, I just told you all that I would hear people talk about signs and how God talked to you. Thank you, Key. And I was just telling you all about the signs. And so her and I, we just sitting there and we're talking, and she started talking about the Bible. So I'm sitting like right here, the table's here, she's on the opposite side of me. And she started talking about the Bible, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to her. And then she started talking about how God gives you signs. She started talking about how God talked to you. And ever since that day, I understood the assignment about God and how he talked to you and how he give you signs. And I tell you all, everybody, even though I don't go to church, okay? But God is still in my heart. He is in my heart. I just feel like I don't have to go to church in order for him to be in my heart, because he has blessed me in so many ways till it's unreal. And those blessings come from him. But I needed someone to really sit down and explain that to me. Sometimes it don't always have to be your mother explaining something to you. Sometimes it don't have to be your sister or your brother. Sometimes it don't have to be your sister and your brother. So, that's just something that I sat back and I understood. And then after I had that conversation with the lady, I started seeing a lot of things. I really started seeing. There was a time I was at this light. And I ran the light. And I did. But you know what? And it's a four-way. Light, 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 light. Cars, 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 cars. I'm right here going that way. South, north. And all of a sudden, I thought it was my turn to go. But you know what? God cleared that path. There was no cars coming from that way, no cars coming from this way to cause an accident at all. And the only thing that I could say was, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Because he already knew that God already knew I was going to run that light. He knew I was going to run that light. And guess what he did? He cleared that path. He cleared the path. He cleared it, because that could have been horrible. Yes, also honoring your community for what I do. Yes, and that's what I believe in. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not giving them people no 10% of my money. They're not getting no 10% of my money. I'm going to give it to a less fortunate person. I'll give it to someone else. These people riding around in helicopters and all that kind of stuff, living in 10-bedroom homes, 6-bedroom homes. All that money that's being used. They driving in big-time Mercedes and all that big-time vehicles for me to give you my 10%. When I retired from the city of Houston, do you think that I was going to give them 10% of money that I worked for 25 and a half years? Mm-mm. And I don't knock anyone for going to church. I don't go, okay? I don't go. But just because I don't go, it doesn't mean I'm not going to heaven, okay? You have people that go to church and they don't even know if they're going to heaven because there's so many hypocrites in this world till it's unreal. There's so many hypocrites in this world. They be the same ones, the ones that's going inside that church. They sitting on in the front row. And as soon as church is over with, before they can even get to their vehicle, did you see how such and such look today? They the biggest gossipers ever. I've seen it. I've seen how when people go to church and they show them their way, who they are while they in church, but then when they out of church, they're a whole new different person. Now, and then some of them go to church just to see who gonna wear the biggest, who gonna have on the biggest hat. It's a fashion show. And then God say, come as you are. But I give that, and because I don't go to church, it doesn't make me any less than anyone else. Tell me I'm making you laugh hard. It doesn't make me any less than anyone else. Shoot. And I always say, and I always have this in my head. The same way God give it to you, he can surely take it away. So that's why it's so important to be careful of what you're doing and how you're doing. Because one thing, I will never be jealous of anyone. And I don't need to copy off of no one. I have my own ways and my own style of being who I am, not who the next person want me to be. See, some people in this world, they don't want to see a strong person. There's other words that I want to say, but I choose some words that I choose the words that come out of my mouth because I don't want to offend anyone, okay? So I'm going to be who I am. I ain't never needed to copy off of nobody. No one. And I mean no one. And if anybody ever came and told you that I done copied off of them, I'm going to say it just like this. They a damn lie. Because Marion been marrying all these years. And Marion has her own Marion style. I don't need to, because this person had that, I got to go get it. Or I got to do this. Or I got to do that. But sometimes when you get something, it's because you like it. Not because you jealous. Not because you copying. We are the church. Thank you, J. Rosalind. The biggest posterity ever. Hey, Quan. Jesus is my friend. You sure right about that. Shoot, don't nobody have time to be going through all that kind of stuff right there, and shenanigans and trying to figure out who. Oh, you talking about me? You talking about me? See, that's why I ain't never liked to have. I ain't never had no friends. Yeah, because as long as you have God in your heart, that's your church right there. That's your church. Even when I was working for the city of Houston, I used to see the less fortunate people on the streets and standing in front of stores, in front of Walgreens. I'd reach in my pocket because I would never have my purse. I would reach in my pocket and give them money. Or I would go buy them some food, That's me giving. I don't have to give that to the church. I'm giving already. And I'm not getting ready to try to pay your That's like a person that have a gambling problem. They always at the casino. And the only thing that they doing is really, they spending that money and paying to go to Las Vegas and look at all those lights that's out there. Look at all those lights. Keep on paying, they helping them pay their light bill. Pay their light bill. That's the way I look at it. I don't want to give my money to no casino so they can pay their light bill. I probably spent maybe $50 in a casino. I ain't trying to lose my money. I'm not trying to lose my money. Shoot, the same way a person can get hooked on drugs, the same way a person can get hooked on pills, a person can get hooked on gambling. Same thing, get hooked on gambling. Exactly. What God had for you is what God had for me is for me. What God had for you is for you. But and they can be hooked and everything else. See, I've seen a lot. Even me, when I was working for the city of Houston, you all could not even truly imagine how many homeless people I've ran across. There was times that I had to go work jobs at night. Okay, because I was on call. Might have had a water line that was shut down, that was shut off, that broke. And if the guys couldn't get it, they would call me in because I would always go in there and solve the problem. That's how good I was. But still, in looking at me driving up at nighttime, me being by myself, I got to be careful. So you get the opportunity, you can call the police department and hopefully a police officer is in that area. I've had residents tell me because their water had to get turned off. And if I turn their water off, this man actually literally came outside and threatened me and my workers that he was going to shoot us if we turned off his water. So there's a lot that we had to go through, but I still put it all in God's hands. So instead of me arguing with that person, I went to my vehicle and I called the police department because he threatened to shoot us. The police came. You can't threaten someone. And there was witness there. So he went to jail. We got being careful in life and seeing a lot. I saw the homeless people. I've seen drug heads. I've seen all that. Just looking at them, that was enough for me to know I never want to be in that predicament. Never. I saw a whole lot working with the city of Houston. Gambling is a huge addiction. Sure is. I said it, just like drugs and alcohol. Just like drugs and alcohol. Yes, it is. It's just like drugs and alcohol. So, and one thing that I've never, my mind, I always told myself, I have a natural high. I have a natural high. No drugs in my system. I don't like weed. That scares me. That made me paranoid the one or two times that I did try to put some in my mouth. And then I always used to tell my coworkers, when I retire, because I mind you, I did 25 and a half years. And they did drug tests, alcohol tests, and all that. I had a CDL license, so I had to, but because I had a CDL license, I had to take an alcohol test and a drug test. So I had to take 2 tests, okay? Because I had a CDL license. I got rid of that license about a year before I retired. About a year before I retired, I got rid of it. And it was so I never that was one of the things. So when I said I was going to when I retired, I used to tell my coworkers, I said, boy, I'm a puff on me. I always said weed cigarette. Now I knew how to roll that weed. I know how to roll it. I just don't smoke it. I used to ask them, my homegirl, my homegirl, she smoked weed. So she used to, one time it was something wrong with her hand or something, and she couldn't roll that stuff up. I said, I'll roll it for you. She said, Meryl, you don't even smoke weed. How you know how to roll weed? I done seen it plenty of times. Baby, I rolled that thing up so good. She was like, what? And they smoked in front of me even while I was at work, but I, working for the city. And anytime I had to have a drug test, they don't play about CDS. Exactly. I ain't never got popped because I ain't even being around a person with drugs in their system, okay? I mean, even being around a person with a person that smoked. And I'm sitting right there. We might be in the house, so it's not just, I always tell them, y'all gonna make me get a contact. I'm gonna end up getting a contact. But when I said I was gonna retire and I was gonna buy, you don't want to be in that particular either. Boo thing. So I told them so I did. I said I was going, when I retired, I said I was going to puff on me a weed cigarette, and that's what I called it, a weed cigarette. Archie smokes cabbage. That's what he called it. He had me thrown off that day when he said something about that cabbage. I forgot exactly what he said, but he had me thrown off. I really thought that he was getting ready to smoke some cabbage on the pit. So I did. So when I did, yeah, I said weed. Yeah, cig weed. So, baby, when I retired, and I had my retirement party. I had was it that night? Because we went somewhere else. Well, anyway, yeah, because my brother was there. My family had flew into Texas. And we just had a good time. But I told them when I retired, I was going to puff on a weed cigarette. So on the outside, I puffed on it. But baby, I got back to that house. And my brother was in the garage. Him and his wife was in my garage. Everybody had made it home. And I caught myself trying to sit down and talk to them. My mouth was so dry, I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth. And I sat there like this. My brother was sitting there, he was talking to me. And I'm steady licking my lips, doing this. I'm steady trying to get some of that water out of my mouth and out them cheeks so I can wet my mouth up. That didn't work. And I'm still doing it. So finally I said, can somebody I can barely get the words out. Can somebody bring me some water? I drank it. But guess what? That was the last time I ever put one up to my mouth. The last time. You call it Kermit? That was the last time. And it had been, 30 years, I don't like it. I don't like weed. You can smoke it in front of me all day long, and I don't want it. Okay? I don't want weed. I don't want no drugs. I don't want it. I got a natural high, and I don't want it. Let them smoke their weed. I don't care. I just can't do it. And when I know I have the willpower not to do it, I got that power. I don't gotta go have a drug test. Yes, you have to drink water. Von Carter, you said I could. Baby, my mouth was so dry. I don't even know how I made it. And I sat there on that couch. I sat there in that chair like this. I was sitting there like that. But because I really didn't want them to know. Because my brother was sitting like on this side over here. And I really didn't want them to know that I was tripping like that. Oh, it's called cotton mouth. Baby, well, I had the worst cotton mouth ever. The worst cotton mouth ever. But I'll never do it again. I don't want that stuff. Y'all, I'm going to let y'all do it. Look at David Clayton talking about he tried it one time. It made me so high I couldn't see. I don't blame you, David Clayton. You tell them people you had your own mind. That's why I said I have a natural high. I don't need to be high on no weed. I have a natural high. Francis, you couldn't do it. And then like before I started working for the let me see how. Where was I? I was at HISD. I don't know if it was HISD, but when I was working at the grocery store. Long years ago, I think like Shree's 45 years old. Probably after I had Carolyn. That was my first time trying it. And I knew I didn't like it then because it made me think about stuff that I didn't want to think about. It made me think about stuff that I didn't want to think about. Then it made me want to eat. I got the munchies. Because I only did it twice. 40 years ago. Okay? And then when I retired. Because I couldn't handle it. And I don't see it. And I'm gonna say, I don't see how you all can do it because I know there's a lot of you on here that smoke weed. So I'm gonna say you all, but I'm not speaking of everybody on here because everybody don't do it. So, but to each his own. Shoot, I don't care. I'm not gonna knock no one. I'm not gonna do it at all. They just can't smoke in my house. They got to smoke outside, that weed. And the other thing that is very, very dangerous, and people that smoke weed or smoke weed in their vehicle and they're driving, I always tell people, why smoke weed in your vehicle? Because if you get pulled over by the police, that's probable cause for them to search your vehicle. Because they smell those drugs. Don't do that in your vehicle. I tell them to stop doing it in your vehicle. Stop. Because they pull you over, that's it. But some people, you can't tell them nothing. At all. Hey, Janice Galvin. Is it Galvin? Gavin. I'm sorry. Ricky Wakefield. Oh my gosh, you know what? Let me tell y'all something. I ain't even gonna tell y'all about that. Cause that was a word, I don't even want to even think about an edible. I'm scared of those two. I'm scared of those two. I don't want that. Don't give me nothing. Don't give me nothing. No edible, nothing. Yeah, that smell gonna be right on your clothes. Especially if you smoking it in your vehicle. Cause you gotta come. The area is already confined. Yes, they will have you twisted up, Darnell. Now, do you get paranoid in a car smoking? What you mean paranoid in a car smoking? You talking about weed? I don't want to be in no car with nobody that's smoking. I don't think that anybody should be smoking in the car. I can't go for that. Hey, Cynthia. Ricky Wakefield. You tried. Who was that? Francis said she tried it once when I was in my early 20s. You was telling your sister to take you to the hospital. I don't blame you, girl. I do not blame you, because I probably would have been saying, I should have been saying the same thing. Take me to the hospital. It made me think about stuff that I didn't even want to think about. It made me think about things like a kid, when I was a kid, you know, just a whole lot of stuff. I'm like, I don't want to think, where's all this coming from? Is it supposed to do you like that, make you overly think? I don't want that. Not at all. I don't even fool with the THC. That's going to take you out of your element. That's right. Well, you stuck like Chuck. Be quiet, Darnell. First time I ever ate one. If you paranoid, you smoking weed, you're not getting in my car. Just the one time you couldn't stop laughing. It's a downer. I don't want it. I don't want it. I truly don't want it. It's 11:56. I said I was going to leave at 12 o'clock. I don't know how they do that and drive. I went to a Thanksgiving dinner. I couldn't even eat the food. Because, baby, let me tell you, all the food was laced with weed. However they make it, however they do it. The macaroni and cheese, the ribs, all of it. Have you all eaten that? Some of you eating some of that? I said, I can't eat that. Who does that? Lace food. I mean food. Hey, Judy. Judy said she thought it relaxed your mind. Judy, not the way it did me when I puffed on it when I retired. No, from years ago, it made me think about stuff that I ain't never thought. I ain't want to be thinking about no extra stuff on my mind. So that's why I know I don't need it. Von Carter said, hold on. Von, what you say? You would have tore that food up? I am serious. They had everything. All the food was laced. They might have, you know what? They might have made 2 pans of everything. And I still didn't want to eat it because I think they said that this macaroni and cheese was laced and this macaroni and cheese wasn't. But I didn't want to take a chance, so I didn't eat no food. That's what it was. The ribs. I know, Deborah. Why are you getting paranoid just thinking about weed? Now, weed not going to make me get paranoid just thinking about it. The only thing you can do is just, all you got to do is just don't do it. And you won't get paranoid. Don't do the weed like me. I'm talking about it. This show not making me paranoid. And I'm 62 years old. I can do without it. That's why she don't eat everybody's food. No. They told us that they said that they had food. The food was laced with weed. So it's not like they didn't tell you. Tell the people. It's not like they didn't tell anyone. Now there's a difference if they don't tell you. But they told, because you know, something happened to someone and they done laced up all the food with weed or whatever, then that person can really get in trouble. So you have to tell people. The only reason why I didn't eat it is because eat any of it. You don't trust weed anymore. I didn't eat it because I just didn't trust it. Shoot, I don't know if this macaroni and cheese didn't have it and that one did. I wasn't taking a chance because you can't tell. You couldn't tell if it was in there, if there was anything in there. You couldn't tell. Alberta Cook. Vivian, Nina, Kim, Noble, Judy. Okay, you all. I'm getting ready to get on up off of here. I got all my ingredients for my praline candy. I called Marla the day before yesterday, so she gave me her recipe. And I've been talking about making this praline candy for a whole month and a half. And just hadn't gotten around to it. Just talked about it this week, last week. Because every time I thought I was going to make it, I just never did make it. So when I called Marla the other day, because normally when I lived in Houston, she would make my praline candy for me, pecan candy for me. And it always was so good. Always was so good. I remember the very first time I tried to make it, that's how I ended up meeting Marla, is because when I was at my house, I tried to make it at my house, and everybody was on there trying to tell me how to make it. No, you gotta do this, stir this out, do. So Marla ended up contacting me on social media. I think that's how that happened. And she had been doing it for me ever since. And even the cakes, the butter cakes and all that. People have picked up cakes from her from my page, I believe. And so I called her and I said, can you And you know, sometimes people don't want to give you your recipe, but she did. She did that. She did. But she always told me that she tried to help me that night. I think I did good, but I'm going to do better this time. I'm going to do better. Because that's exactly what I'm about to do. I don't know. It's going to be a minute before I go out because I got to go to a funeral next weekend. I'm going with to see Brittany tomorrow. And then I'm coming back home. And then I'll be in Houston next week. So it's going to be, I don't know, about another month. About another month. So I'm going to get off of here, you all, so I can get ready to... Hey, Judy. Von Carter. Wendy. So I will see you all later, Gators. I'll see you all when I get to Shania's place so that you all can see Pooh Baby. Much love, you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a blessed and prosperous day. And don't worry, be happy. Much love.